Hey everybody, how's everybody out there in social media world? Hi, I'm Anna Zacher, your Realtor Extraordinaire. Grab a soda, grab coffee, and let's have a minute or two to chat, okay? Some of you have probably been getting my letters, newsletters, and things in your snail mail. You may be getting emails from me, and sometimes it's nice to put a voice behind the picture and that wasn't a photoshopped picture. Wish I could have used Photoshop. But just want you to know I am a live person. I am a real person out there. Wanted to give you a little bit of my background. I was raised a PK, preacher's kid. My father is was a First Church of God minister here in the Middletown, Dayton, Cincinnati area. We did travel a lot. He did many revivals everywhere, and he pastored many churches all along the eastern coastline. He wrote many books, and he would send them out free of charge. He would never charge people. He just felt like that was a part of his ministry. His name is Kenneth Howard. Many people may know that name, and they may, remember him. He certainly had a big presence in the churches, and he lived his life for the Lord, and he has reaped his reward. Miss him every day. There isn't a day that doesn't go by I don't miss him. But knowing that he is where he has worked his entire life is to sit on the right hand side of Jesus, you can't be that sad, right? I am a realtor of faith. I am a woman of faith. I am a mom of faith. I am a daughter of faith. I am an aunt of faith. I am very rooted in my faith. And I am I'm a Bible believer, and I am a prayer warrior. You can always ring me up. You can always hit me up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever, and you can say, hey, I'm going through something. Can you pray for me? And know this, I will. My prayer lists are long, but you know what? I've got the time, and Jesus has got the big enough ears. So that's me in a nutshell. I have an older sister, two older sisters. Unfortunately, we did lose my sister Pam. She was not just a sister, she was my best friend. And she loved the Lord just as much as I do. So I know that she's reaped her reward where she has lived her life. She very much of a Bible beaten, on my knees person praying, and I just miss her every single day too. My mom is still with us. I love her dearly. She has been a very supportive and a very good minister's wife. She supported Dad all the way through his ministry. She took care of him at the end, and she raised 3 terrific girls, if you ask me. And she never complained. I never really heard her complain growing up. And it's hard, when you're moving state to state, because the Lord says, I got a church over here that really needs help. I need you, Kenny, to go and preach there and get that church reorganized and things like that. He was kind of a kingdom builder, and we went to churches that were on the verge of collapse or something, and that's kind of what Dad's thing was. He was a Christian psychologist, or counselor, I should say, rather, and he counseled many of the people in this area, marital and children having issues, and then the drug scene, and He did a lot of family counseling, and he mended a lot of, families. He would say he didn't, God did. And I would agree with that. But God needed a tool, and Dad was that tool. And he needed somebody to speak the words. And God used his mouth to speak the words that God wanted them to hear. So I think Dad and God made a great team, I'll be honest. I think they made a really good team. And I'm hoping that me and God are making a good team. So that's my family. That's my background with my family. I also am a proud mother of an adult child. He's 28 years old, and he grew up in the Middletown area and played all the sports and things like that. So we have a real tight-knit base here in Middletown, Germantown, Farmersville, Eaton. We got a lot of family that lives out in Camden. Got a lot of family that lives in Somerville. We got a lot of family that live in Germantown and Eaton and Farmersville and so forth. So we got family all over, and it's kind of like this little area, and this is where we call home. Mom and Dad built this house 30 years ago and have been here 30 years. Mom isn't in the best of health, so I've moved in 6 years ago to help her and to be here for her during her health issues, which brings me to being a Realtor Extraordinaire for you. I am a paralegal by trade. I went to school, got my bachelor's degree as a paralegal, worked in the Butler County, Montgomery County, Hamilton County, Preble County courts. I have worked for a lot of very influential and prominent politicians and judges and attorneys that went on to be politicians and attorneys that went on to be judges, and worked for a lot of the attorneys in the area. As Mama started her health requiring more and more assistance and required more care, I saw that I couldn't give the time and devote the care that her health was starting to demand. So I retired from the paralegal profession, and in so doing that, the pandemic hit. And once the pandemic hit, God was able to get me still. And I really think that the pandemic was God's way of getting a lot of us Christians to be still and wait upon Him. I don't think anything else. I think that God said, I got to get my church, and I got to get them still across the board, across the countries. Because there's Christians overseas, there's Christians below us and above us, and Christians in all 50 states. So God needed a way to get us to get still. Be still and wait upon me, He says. So in this pandemic, when He had me still and quiet, He started pricking my mind. That was my cat. I don't know why. I guess because I talk with my hands, he decided he was going to bite me. Excuse me. But during the pandemic, he kind of started piercing my mind, talking with me, and my prayers and in my devotionals and everything. And my interest in real estate has always been there. Dad, in his latter years of life, was purchasing homes and apartment buildings and renting or flipping, and he would call upon me to help him with a lot of that, me and the attorneys that I was working with. And I found it very interesting and very challenging. That's why I went into the law, because it's very interesting and it's very challenging. So, and I don't back away from a challenge. And so real estate started popping in my brain. I started looking at the courses and schooling, and that I could do it all online because the pandemic, so nobody was going anywhere. And God just led me to this place on the internet. So after I enrolled and started doing my studies and really getting into it and getting more and more excited about the real estate profession and about the legalities about it and things, I just dove in. And then the pandemic started kind of lightening up. They started opening the testing centers, the exam centers.